Have you ever looked at your garden and thought, where on earth am I going to fit in another crop? What if I told you the answer usually isn't having a bigger garden, it's making better use of the one you already have. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Handmade Homestead and Garden. I'm Angela Allen, and today I want to talk about harvesting and resetting the garden to grow more food all season long. So I'm going to take you along as I harvest what's ready, clear out plants that have done their job, and reset parts of the garden for another round of planting. And if I'm lucky, I might even get to put in a few more seeds. If you've ever wondered when it's too late to plant something, or how to keep your garden producing for months instead of weeks, stay with me here because that is exactly what we're talking about today. We all look forward to those big harvests when plants reach maturity. But harvesting is more than just putting food in the table and gathering your abundance. Harvesting creates opportunity in the garden. One of the biggest mistakes I see gardeners make is thinking that every bed has to stay exactly as it is until fall. It really doesn't. As I'm harvesting today, I'm also looking at every bed with one question in mind. Is this plant still earning its space? If it is, wonderful, it gets to stay. But if it's slowing down, producing very little, or simply reaching the end of its season, I'm not afraid to move it on into the compost pile. Like most urban homesteaders and backyard gardeners, we have a small garden, so every square foot in the garden is valuable space. And when one crop finishes, another one can begin in that same space if you know when it's time to pull the plant and replant again. Having the next round of seedlings ready and plenty of extra seeds are two things that are really important in able to do this, but it is something that pretty much most of us already do anyway. If you're enjoying this kind of practical gardening, I'd love it if you take a second to like the video. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's happening in the garden throughout the whole growing season. Let's talk about why I reset my beds. Resetting a bed doesn't have to be a huge project. I'm simply removing tired plants, picking up any fallen leaves or weeds, and getting the area ready for whatever comes next. I do that for a couple of reasons. A clean bed is easier to plant. It's easier to water, and it's easier to keep weed-free. And more importantly, it gives me the opportunity to keep harvesting fresh vegetables long after many gardens have stopped producing. And with our own family's personal goals of being more self-sufficient and trying to produce at least 70% of the food that we eat, it's really important that I do reset those beds. One question I hear fairly often is whether I should pull the entire plant or leave the roots in the soil. Well, for me, that depends. If the plant has been healthy, I'll often cut it off at soil level and leave the roots where they are. As they break down, they feed the soil and help improve its structure. But if a plant has become diseased, has a lot of pests, or if I need to completely clear the space for the next crop, I'll pull the entire plant instead. I don't believe that there is a single rule that fits every situation. It's just simply another decision I make one bed at a time. I am primarily a no-dig grower, but I am not afraid to disturb the soil if I need to. If I was just growing lettuce plants, for example, and they had quite a big root system, and I want to put turnips in next, I'm going to pull those stalks out of the ground when I remove the plants. But for something like carrots, there is no need for me to pull anything out of the ground other than the carrot itself, because most of the roots come up when the carrot is harvested. But I do tend to plant tomatoes in the same place every year. So every year I just cut them to the ground and I leave the roots intact over winter and plant again next late spring, and I've never had a problem doing that. So let's talk about prepping the soil. Once the space is cleared, I don't do anything complicated. I add a thick layer of homemade compost in the fall to all of my garden beds, and most of the time I don't need to use it again until the following fall, even though I succession plant and intensely plant in all of my beds. That's really the only fertilizer I use in my vegetable garden. I do use a Jadam tank, J-A-D-A-M is the acronym, to add microbes to my soil to keep the soil healthy. But other than that, that's all I add to any of my plants ever. The compost feeds the soil, improves moisture retention, and gets the bed ready for another planting without a lot of extra work on my part. And in the middle of the summer, when it's hot and sweaty in the garden, the last thing I want to do is shovel around a whole bunch of compost or deal with really dusty fertilizer to feed the beds. So I just weed them, rake them, and plant them. Sometimes the simplest routine is also the easiest to keep up with. Speaking of simple things made to last, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I also love traditional craftsmanship. In my Etsy shop, I weave cotton and linen kitchen towels and other household necessities. I also weave unique wearable art for adults. I weave on antique floor looms, one item at a time. Each is unique and made from the highest quality fibers that I can find. If you appreciate handmade pieces that are practical enough for everyday use, I'll leave a link below if you'd like to take a look. And don't forget, if you're there, to like and follow the Etsy page. That also helps a lot with their algorithm. Now, let's get this next bed taken care of. One thing I hope today's video encourages you to do is to think of your garden as constantly changing. Harvest, reset, plant again. There really isn't a hard and fast calendar that says every crop has to be planted by one specific date. Instead, I like to work backwards from my average first frost date. As long as there is enough time for a crop to mature before your expected frost arrives, with a little safety margin built in, you can often keep sowing much later than most people realize. Fast-growing greens, bush beans, beets, radishes, turnips, even another round of carrots in many climates. Those empty spaces don't have to stay empty. Every new planting is another opportunity for another harvest for your family. There are some really good tricks for getting the most produce out of the gardening space that you already have. Starting seeds inside so that you constantly have a supply of seedlings to put out is one of the best tricks. And succession planting also extremely important and one of the best tricks too. But don't forget about resetting your garden and pulling out low productive or unproductive plants early to have room to stick in some more plants to hopefully get a better harvest in the months and weeks to come. So this video isn't just about harvesting vegetables from what you planted in the spring and the early summer. It's about making room for the next harvest and the next harvest and the next harvest before those first plantings sometimes are even finished. It's one of the easiest ways I know to get more food and more value from the same garden space. I hope this video gives you a few ideas for your own garden. If it did, I'd really appreciate a like, a subscribe, and a share. And absolutely comment down below and let me know what you do for succession planting and if you reset your beds to plant again all the way up until your next first frost occurs. And if you enjoy practical, relaxed gardening videos, again, don't forget to subscribe. There are plenty more coming. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy this one here as well. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care.